What you would tell Ejiofor?
Let me explain. I was trying to fool him. We will rule together. Mufasa and Simba are gone, which means I am your king.
That's so embarrassing.
And then James Earl Jones coming back as Mufasa.
Simba, come to me. You can do it.
That sounds great from over here.
It's so bad. It's so embarrassing, and it's just like...
You can do it.
This film is truly testing the limits of, like, just how much corporate bullshit you can paint over something so that they don't notice how bad it is. Really. That's what's going on here.
You can do it.
That sounds great from over here. It's perfect. Coming back as Mufasa.
Simba, come to me. You can do it.
That sounds great from over here. It's
You can
perfect.
do it.
It's perfect.
Mufasa was the one role where
At no point does he even pretend
It's
like
all the
he
same
doesn't
face. Like, you see it, like, one after the other, just the 3 shots in a row. It's, like, all the fucking same.
We both want to find a way out.
It's so bad! It's so bad!
overbearing.
And it takes so long to say everything. 48 seconds.
This gorge is where all lions come to find their roar.
All lions? Even my dad?
I hate that they added this stupid bullshit. Like, it was a part of his plan the whole time to make him think that his roar did it. That's it. Like, fuck off.
Simba?
Simba!
Simba?
What a goober! Simba! Simba! Oh, not again, Simba!
Simba? Simba?
Compared, like, let's compare this for a second. I mean, I'm going to in the review, but like, it's just so fucking night and day. Like,
Simba's down there. Simba.
the facial expression adds a lot. Really.
Stampede in the gorge. Simba's down there. Simba.
It's it's not Simba.
Sing the ceremony this morning.
I answer to no one.
Scar? Scar?
It, like, the music, like, removes the atmosphere. It's so weird.
Come down to mingle with the commoners.
Oh,
Flip my mind.
this first line that shows up, like, the Zazu's first line in the original is like, "Didn't your mother ever tell you not to play with your food?" Right? And then this first line, "The king approaches, you will rot." It's like, one of these lines establishes a relationship between these characters, and one of them does not. The 94 version, it's clear that they know each other. Zazu's clearly familiar with this character, right? They've met before. In this one, it's like, we don't know that. The king approaches! Like, we don't know if they've ever met. There's, like, no established relationship. They just removed it.
Learn from it.
This is like that photo of the dog that gets hit by the frisbee. This frame here. Animation's funny.
I had a cousin who thought he was a woodpecker. He slammed his head into trees, and our beaks aren't built for it. He was concussed.
The pacing of that joke was really bad.
Yeah, the pacing of all the fucking lines in this movie is just fucking awful. It's just... They try so hard. They try so hard for the, like, whole quirky comedy thing, especially John Oliver's lines. It's so annoying. It is very also, like, the comedy in this movie is also reminiscent of, like, Marvel movies. The way that they, like, stop things to be like, oh, this is, we'll have some audience laughter here. It's, like, very clearly supposed to be a silly moment sort of thing.
John Oliver. He was born to play Zazu.
Star?
Yeah, my belly feels great.
That guy who says John Oliver was born to play Zazu looks like he has a gun to his head.
Well, he's like
that whole time.
He like stops in the middle of his sentence like he was about to say something else. Like, man.
John Oliver. He was born to. I don't.
Man.
John Oliver. He was.
Kanye and Beyonce are just in a really long argument. Kanye's like, Jesus is king, and Beyonce is like, no, black is king. Do I like John Oliver outside this movie? No. I don't. Just because he's also left-leaning, supposedly. Like, he's not funny.
Don't worry about paying me. Worry about...
Late-night talk shows fucking suck with no audience. I mean, they sucked before, but it's just so much more obvious now. Holy shit. They're, like, unwatchable. Who watches it? Is YouTube, like, inflating the views? I know that's incredibly conspiratorial and not true, probably, but... Like, who watches that, is what I'm trying to say. Like, just boomers? Fucking boomers!
You see, I've always wanted to be president, and my friend Milburn said that...
Yeah, I mean, like, he's an actual character actor. Like, and then they just replaced him with talk show host. Like, what the fuck? Seriously. Yeah, this is worse than I thought.
With the presentation of Simba.
The animation doesn't even look good. Like, what is going on? It looks so fake. The shot sucks. The shot actually fucking sucks. Look at how bad this, like, pretend glare lighting is. That's so funny that, like, the Japanese... That complaint I have about... What I meant was... Like, that's clearly not in the... I wonder if I could find, like, the other ones. The other languages. I'm gonna get copyright claim for this, for sure. And they hit the right note, too! Oh, the Japanese one's so much better! Oh, no! They didn't auto-tune to the wrong note. Then why did they put more effort into the English one? What the fuck?
Peut-être pourrions-nous partager un repas.
It's like even the French actors putting more effort into it than like the what the fuck? Than Chiwetel Ejiofor. What does Mufasa sound like?
Les arbres, quoi de tout ça?
Oui.
Oui. None of the other voice actors does it the way John Oliver does it. None of the... I mean, now, what did the Spanish one do now? They all realized it was stupid. I guess because he's not on screen, like, they don't have to sync it. So, that, like, they're actually... There's, like, a back and forth like they're supposed to be. None of them hit that part great, but, I mean, they don't tune it to the wrong note like the English version. These other voice cast people for Simba, when they sing, like, they're actually performing it. That's my biggest issue I have with J.D. McCreary's singing, and also the singing of all the other cast members, let's be honest. But, like, they don't perform it. They sing it, but they don't perform it. Or as Hans would say, perform it. Like, they're concerned about singing the notes, but they're not concerned about, like, acting as the character as they're singing the notes. And that's one of the biggest differences between the songs in the singing in the original and the remake, is like they don't perform the notes, But in these other voice tracks, it sounds like they do. Like you can hear the excitement in the performance. That is something that is important for this track, is to be able to hear the excitement in the character as they perform it, not just I'm singing the notes. Yeah, the Spanish one not so much. The French one had it down. The French one you could hear the actual performance. They were actually performing it. And then the English one is like the worst one.
I see you down there! I see you down.
And you can't even hear him. Like you can tell by the way that he sings that in the recording booth he's like relaxed. Like, just can't wait to be king. He's like fucking bored as he's doing it. Right? He's not, the character isn't excited. JD McCrary can't fucking act. I'm sorry, little boy. I'm sorry, little child. But you can't act. You're a singer. You're trying to act, you can't.
Aide-moi.
I love French.
Yeah, my belly feels great.
We.
Longue vie au roi.
That was a better, like, I mean, it's still not good. That was a better no than JD McCrary. That one, not so great. So the French one's not bad. The French one's the best audio track here. And then, obviously, as we've all seen and laughed at, the English one.
Yeah.
What I am just now realizing, and I'm willing to fucking bet money on this. I'm willing to bet money on this. That take from JD McCrary, that, I'm willing to fucking bet money that was the result of, like, several attempts to get him to actually scream, but he just couldn't come out of his shell enough as an actor. Which, I mean, not trying to bully a little kid, he shouldn't have been cast in the role if he can't act. That's the adult's fault, right? I'm willing to bet that was, like, their compromise. Of them being like, no, just like scream, let it all out. And he's like, no. And then finally they were like, well, just do high pitched or something. That's exactly what it seems like to me at this point. Because you can't get that otherwise. You can't, no performance where someone's like actually getting rid of their ego and trying results in this. It's not possible. It's not possible. That's exactly what happened. That's my interpretation. You surprised?
Wow, dude, Pride rock.
his face here. It's a good meme. It's like, wow. Whoa! Pride Rock is in the movie. I don't understand. I get it. They're on the React channel, and they wouldn't be there if they didn't, like, over-exaggerate everything they're fucking doing, but, like...
Dad, let me come, I can help.
It's so weird.
Dad, let me come, I can help.
No, son, you stay with the other cubs.
And this is their promo material. This is their promo material, and this is like, ignore the "let me come" line, and ignore that. This is their promo material, and this is the James Earl Jones that they're selling here.
No, son, you stay with the other cubs.
Like, he's ancient. You can hear it.
James Earl Jones back for this. Was there any temptation to bring anyone else back from the original? Was it important to kind of apart from that, to kind of detach yourself from,
I
from what I've done before.
I decided.
Look at how fucking nervous he gets with his ear. Immediately, it's like, why didn't you bring anyone else back? He's like, like.
Was there any temptation to bring anyone else back from the original? Or was it important to kind of, apart from that, to kind of detach yourself from what I've done before?
I decided.
It's so silly. This whole thing is just so stupid. I can't believe anybody likes this movie. I don't think that they actually do. I'm a person that like is wholeheartedly against the idea of discrediting other people's enjoyment or dislike of other films. But I don't think that anyone exists that truly loves the new Lion King that didn't see the original. I think that if they love it, like they might genuinely love it, but what they really love is the original film and being reminded of it. And that if they hadn't seen the original film, there would be nothing there. Like I want anyone to just find me one person that like watched the new Lion King and experienced all of the intended emotions from the film without having seen the original. Right? Or just like it's difficult for me to comprehend is what I'm saying. It's difficult to understand. I don't know how it's possible. There's so much of this film that's like entirely reliant on you having seen the original for you to be able to understand or experience the intended effect. You can't spell Nala without anal. Fuck, quit sending me links unless they're relevant to the review, because I gotta work. Fuck you! Jesus Christ, that was the worst possible one. Why didn't they get Jonathan Taylor Thomas again? Hey, Uncle Scar. Guess what?
I despise guessing games.
I think a lot of child actors fall off the map because their passions weren't really in that, and their parents just kind of forced them into that. Because some of these, like the point, I'll get to the point of like the terrible line delivery. What I'm trying to communicate at the moment is just that he sounds way too old. Some of these are just poorly delivered regardless.
Simba's down there. Quick! Stampede in the gorge. Simba's down there. Simba?
It's so... Look at his dumb face! Simba! It's still, like, he's not concerned at all. Simba!
I actually think his original is that a challenge sounds very similar to Scar.
Yeah, it was a weird performance. Simba! I can't, it's so funny to think about.
Simba's down there. Simba?
Simba! It's so stupid!
All of that?
Yes.
It's still so funny.
Yes.
It's so weird and out of place. I can't deal with it.
I don't think you should blame the actors too much, even John Oliver. H has been a good actor in things like Rick and Morty and Community.
Rink?
If all the performers are doing a bad job, it seems like the problem was they weren't given any direction. Thanks, UWU.
Yeah, I do blame Jon Favreau more than anyone. But, I mean, most of the issues when I'm going through each of these actors one by one, my main issues are with the casting. And then beyond that, the concept of the character and what they tried to do with it, right? So even though there's the line, it doesn't seem like he even really tried to John Oliver. I mean, there's behind-the-scenes footage to back up my point of him saying shit like, yeah, I just have one voice. This is this loud and this soft. I mean, yeah, sure. Someone who is not a good character actor shouldn't be in that role, and it is the fault of the casting to place him in that role, but at the same time, it is still a legitimate criticism to say, hey, this guy is not a good character actor, right? So, I don't think I'm at a line. Like, why do we need this music cue?
Is that a challenge?
You're so lame, John. Ha! Oh my god, this shot. Oh my god! I've never went frame by frame here. Oh! Vore time. Jesus. It's funny, like, they even add the line, like, he never even says, my big brother. He literally, Scar just says, like, I'm afraid I'm at the shallow end of the gene pool, and then Mufasa talks to Zazu, and in this one, he's like, establish that you are my big brother, and that Simba is my nephew, and that he will be king, and that's why I am mad. It's so fucking obnoxious.
When it comes to brute strength.
I'm afraid I'm at the shallow end of the gene pool.
Yeah. But when it comes to brute strength, I'm afraid my big brother will always rule. Not always, Scar.
My big brother, like, as if anyone was confused watching the first film, the most successful animated film of all time until this one. Currently, the most successful 2D animated film of all time, I believe. As if anybody was confused, they throw in this extra bullshit.
One day, it'll be my son who rules. Simba will be your king.
My son, Simba, not always younger brother Scar, who just called me older brother. My son Simba will be the king. That's why you're upset.
Yes, Scar, it is true that you are upset that you will not be.
It's just so fuck. How can they possibly, like, why would you decide to dumb the film down when it was already so successful? Nobody watched The Lion King 1994 and said, I didn't know what was going on. Like, why do you need to make it stupid? Fuck you. It's so dumb, John. Yeah, because, like, in the beginning section of the review, it's like, it's important to paint this picture. And I'm glad that I structured it this way. It's very, very much front-loaded with John and his explanation of, like, what he's doing, which I think is, like, the most damning case when it comes to this movie. That, like, even people that enjoyed it are like, what? You literally just said that, like, you're making the movie to remind people of the old movie? Like, I think that's pretty important to communicate at the beginning, right? It's just like, he keeps just digging himself a hole, basically. That's what he's doing in these interviews, is he's literally just digging a hole, shooting himself in the foot by, like, trying to explain his vision.
Dude, Rafik!
I don't know who this man is, the dude Pride Rock guy, but he's a meme now. Whoa! Pride Rock! Like, what are you talking about? So I stumbled across young Simba actor JD McCrary's YouTube channel. And, you know, obviously, like, this is what I was really looking for, was, like, the dumb music that he makes, right? And so it's, like, it's pretty identical to, like, any pop overproduced Hollywood music, right? And it's not surprising, because he's, like, a young D-list star or whatever, you know, in The Lion King. He was on a track with Childish Gambino. Like, he's got connections in the industry, that's 100%. And so obviously there's going to be music like this.
And they've been cool enough to take a couple selfies.
And it sounds pretty identical to anything else that could be, like, really successful. This was posted January 2019. It's been online for over a year and a half. If this same song was just marketed, literally the exact same song, if it was marketed to the extent of, like, I don't know, one of Will Smith's kids' songs or Justin Bieber or something like that, it might as well be, like, at the fucking top of the charts. You know, there's no difference. It's literally just a marketing thing, which is just, like, this sad commentary on the industry. But it's so true. It really, a lot of it, there's so many artists that are making songs that, like, might as well be at the top of the charts, but, like there's no reason why it should have this few views compared to any other one of these types of songs. Anyway, I came across one of these videos that was just so, like, telling of, like, his parent. I'm creating this in my head. Full disclosure, this is literally just me, what's the word? Hypothesizing. There's a better word for it that I'm not thinking of. This is literally just me imagining things, creating my, drawing my own conclusions. But, like, I don't think it's possible for a kid like J.D. McCrary and his career to exist without his parents, like, heavily pushing him into it. And so this video is also really telling, where he's not really cooking the food. This is set up. They said, pretend to cook the food and sing, and we'll pretend like this is just some sort of, like, yeah, speculating is a good word. We'll pretend like this is just some sort of, like, ooh, you just happen to be singing and cooking sort of thing. But he's not. He's pretending to cook very clearly, right? He's not cooking. Look at that. Those aren't eggs, those are hash browns. Like, he doesn't know what he's doing with the food, is what I'm saying. I don't know if he's ever cooked. But it's funny that his parents, very clearly his parents, they didn't just say, like, hey, sing in front of the camera. They said, pretend you're cooking. Pretend you're cooking and singing. And it's just one of those, like, ugh. You know, it's just so telling. So telling, that this, like, marketing aspect of this child's life, which I just think is really lame. Anyway, I know I did that compilation of the national anthem thing, and on this YouTube channel I actually found one that he did, which actually kind of, he does the same things that I'm talking about and criticizing, so I might as well, I'm gonna see if there's a way that I can fit his into there too. See this, that note is one where it's like, that's mostly what I'm talking about, but it doesn't show his face when it's happening, so. I can't believe how terrible she is. I think that works. I fit him in there. See, that one's overkill. That's more to do with the point I'm talking about. I wish it showed his face at that point, though. Like, it's so overkill. What's the point? It's to illustrate comparison and talk about how singing around the notes doesn't necessarily make it better, which is about the Lion King soundtrack. the sun. It doesn't. See, this one isn't like as bad. I might not be able to include him. It was a nice thought. Because like that one doesn't really, that particular clip doesn't really illustrate the point. See, this one's funny. So I recorded in the review up to the morning report scene. 13. Oh God, it's still so early. Oh, I was hoping it would be later. Yeah, about 15 minutes through the video, or through the movie, and I'm at the hour mark in the review. Ah! This might be longer than Kimba. But I don't think I, like, waste time. The first 20 minutes of the review are talking about things like character design, and, like, the technology involved, and, like, the expectations, and, like, what constitutes as a live-action film. So, like, I don't... There's just so much wrong with it. There's so much wrong with it. Everything... Every ounce of the movie is just broken. It sounds like a fucking joke, though, that I'm 15 minutes into the film and an hour into my review. I don't think that'll be... I think by an hour and a half into the review, I'll be at, like, at least the half-hour mark in the movie. See, these original concept art photos are great. Pictures, drawings, whatever. Images. Because whereas, like, yeah, these people tried to recreate, you know, they photoshopped to make something like, okay, they can show more expression now. Some of them wind up looking a little uncanny valley, especially these two. And so they're not like, they're just individuals that worked on it for like a day. So it's understandable. But having the actual character designer from the film create these images and then them just not using them, like, it's like, no, too much character. There's too much character there. Like, that's insane. Like, there's so much, like, it's so subtle of a difference, but it adds so much. It's insane. Literally, it's like, you can now see, like, if they went with the same general design, they would still be able to achieve what they wanted. Scar's the only one that looks radically different. Maybe Pumbaa to an extent.
I think we need to find...
I can't believe... Like, I still can't believe anybody's saying it's a live action... I can't believe it. Like, what is he doing now, then, John? It doesn't make any sense. Nala in use? Seems like the sign outside of one of those weird furry porn commission things where they're, like, stuck in a wall. Nala in use? Oh, no. Seems like the sign outside of one of those weird furry porn commission things where they're, like, stuck in a wall.
Do they really have people stuck in walls at furry cons that you can fuck at your leisure?
At furry cons? No. I'm talking about weird fantasy porn commissions. I don't think that's a thing that happens at furry cons. The logistics of building a wall that you could stick someone in are just really complicated. Could you ever fucking imagine that I would order a Blu-ray from Japan and have it show up to Canada in like 2 days? It said August 18th. It's the 12th. That's crazy. There were some other things I ordered too. Like there were actually like 4 packages outside that were delivered really late at night. Cool thing about Japanese Blu-rays, they're region A. Not that it matters with my setup, but still. It's a Lion King Blu-ray. Because I wanted to look through the whole Japanese audio track, because I looked at some of the YouTube clips of the Japanese audio, and it was like remarkably better than the English audio in terms of like performances, and that's illegal. Not when I'm doing it for fair use purposes. Which begs the question, if I'm allowed to rip a Blu-ray if I'm using it for the purpose of fair use material, what's the difference between doing that and illegally torrenting a movie? What's the difference between ripping a Blu-ray and torrenting a Blu-ray, both of which are equally illegal if you're not doing it for fair use purposes? I would say that there's an argument that I could torrent a film, and as long as I'm using it for fair use, then that would be totally fine. Because it is equally illegal to just copy a disc from your Blu-ray to your computer. It is equally illegal as torrenting. The only difference with torrenting would be is if you're seeding it. So if you're seeding it, then you're technically letting others download from you and uploading it, right? That would be where the difference would come in. I would download a car. Wouldn't it be weird if there were like special features that were exclusive to the Japanese Blu-ray? Wouldn't that be really fucking weird? Special feature: Tezuka's alive, and he's pissed.
Finished, and this one's perfect. You are a liar, Jon. You are...
just the way I sound when I say that. You are... I sound like Tommy Wiseau almost. You're a liar.
You are a liar, Jon.
This video is gonna be good. It's pretty good so far.
They did not...
It sounds so bad. For them to be like, the original soundtrack was unfinished. And then release this? Like, fuck off. These reviews are getting like more and more in-depth with each one. Yeah, leave it to a furry to... This is my lion movie year.
They did not give a single fuck about the music. Yeah, the original...
They really didn't, though. I don't think that that's even an exaggeration. They clearly did not give a fuck. They clearly did not give a fuck. At all. Really. They did not. They're literally just lying. You're literally lying to your audience. You're a liar, dude. Like, even if we didn't have the clips of Hans saying, like, I just wanted to fix it, and then saying, no, I didn't want to fix it, as, like, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like, he's obviously lying. Even if we didn't have those clips, it's just so fucking apparent. Like, you can't make the first film. You can't make the music from the first film and then make this and pretend you cared. Right? You can't... That's not possible. It's not possible. Like, I haven't even gotten into the Just Can't Wait to Be King song. I think I went over this a bit in my stream, at least, but I haven't gotten to that point in the review. Where it's like, Simba... The characters don't perform the lines. They sing the lines, but they don't perform them. Or as Hans would say, perform it. And I think I made that joke last time, too. It's just... I don't believe for a fucking second that they actually cared. That's unrealistic. That's incredibly unrealistic. This film infuriates me to no end. I mean, I was always going to cover this. This was always going to be something that I had to...
They did not give a single fuck about the music. Yeah, the original Lion King had a...
It is a funny visual to put on this line, because it's like, they got Jon to play an instrument. As simple as the instrument may be, it's just the image and concept of that is just amusing.
That are...
I do kind of love that Jon Favreau is my next target. He's such a silly man. It almost feels like the interview footage that I'm getting for this almost feels like I'm back in like M. Night Shyamalan territory. There's just so much. There's just so much stupid shit that he says that it's so easy. It's so easy to make him look like an idiot. You are a liar, Jon. You are a liar and it hit you. I don't know if I've said the name of the director as much as I do in this review. I don't think I at no point in my old boy review did I say Spike. I don't think I said that once. Amount to this section.
Because the original, it was something where they had a schedule and a budget. And so when they came to...
I can't believe he says that. In the original film, they had a schedule and a budget, implying that the remake doesn't? And there's like 5 drum kits playing the same thing. I had a dream that I created an anthology horror series, and one of these short horror films within a film was essentially a like it starred Logan Paul and he was doing his dumb vlog shit, but then it turned into like a horror movie. So he was like out filming dead bodies, but then like real shit happened.
You should adapt it into a real movie.
I mean, I could. You could always make a parody of Logan Paul and put it in a found footage movie. However, if you're going to tackle characters that are obnoxious YouTubers, you'd have to be very careful not to make those same characters obnoxious to the audience in ways that are ironic, you know? I haven't gotten to be prepared yet. It's literally going to be an hour into the review before, like, by the end of me talking about the morning report, which is like 15 minutes into the actual movie. And I don't feel like I've wasted any time. There's a lot to talk about. Everything's wrong. Everything about this movie is just so terribly wrong. Everything. I haven't talked about Beyonce.
Hey guys, cock and ball torture, CBT, penis torture, or dick torture is a sexual activity involving application of pain to the... Thanks for watching. My $5 and up patrons are Lemonade Warrior, Dana, Malav Shah, Rift, Chad Gloria, Mechadong, Brendan Stupor, and Pit Wang. I'll see you later.